Well, here we are. I am back with Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, for coming and joining me today for some more coffee time instead of tea time. And I just want to start by what you already said, and I want to honor you in that, and just to hold space for gratitude and having soul family friendship in the highest vibration, held in love. I just came back from the royal wedding and in Norway, between Princess Martha and Shaman Durek, and it was like being with you, but like magnified. I have never been around so many loving, high vibrational people in one location, but I want to honor you in the now because you are like just as powerful and just as enlightened. And one common message that Shaman Durek keeps reminding us, and it definitely resonates with me, and I feel it's important to speak, is that surround yourself with people who lift you up. Surround yourself with people that feed life into you. And if they are not doing those things, then send them love, but walk away. It's time to practice, take this level of discernment and take it to a whole other level. Because if you can't build me up as I build you, then that's okay. But I choose to surround myself with people who are in alignment with the same frequency that I hold, that want to keep evolving in the highest light and only want love and joy and health and well-being for everyone. So, because there is no separation, that's the irony in this. I'm just gonna like preface this and say it's so funny because it's not funny, it's just interesting to look at that in order to ascend, you do need to move into oneness. But as you ascend and cross over into 5D and beyond, is how I see it. And some people will refer to it as the North Node. Outside of karmic lessons and moving into a place of dharma where fear does not exist, it is oneness. But the reality is that some people aren't there yet, and it's not right or wrong. They're just holding a different state of consciousness, and we were all there. So there is no race. No one is better than another. The people who have crossed over and are living a dharmic way of being have done the work. They've looked at the shadow, they've studied energy, the laws of the universe, how all this interconnects, and they moved into a place of oneness. But it's still it's separate in that very aware of the two realities that are coexisting, but it's not seeing one as better or worse, but holding space for another to take the journey and say, rise with us, join us into this beautiful field of oneness and love.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, creating bliss on earth is my intention these days. I just want exactly that. And every time we start these calls, it just amazes me how aligned we are right from the beginning. And note to everybody, we don't discuss what we're going to talk about before we have these calls. So the just to show you how much we've been connected, that message is the message that I wanted also to discuss because that has been my journey for the last like 8 days while you were gone. There's just so much. It's just such a parallel journey at this point, and we are experiencing the exact same feelings and trying to deliver that same message from thousands of miles apart. And it was like the whole week, you like the message that Shaman Durek was saying about, surrounding yourself with people that will lift you up. I have something to talk about with that too. So I'm excited for this conversation. So thank you for allowing me to come into this space and help really, spread this love and joy and light into as many people's lives as we possibly can.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that reflection because the truth is that as we move into oneness, it's true. It was interesting even to talk to all those people. Everyone was seems to be in the same energy and working through the same stuff. This so if anything, this should be inspiring people to the world is changing. The human experience is changing and we are shifting into oneness. And as we start to work with the energies together cohesively in resonance, it is happening and at a quicker rate. And this is exciting. This truly is exciting.
Very exciting. It is
Okay,
super
so
exciting.
I
I
want to
had the
hear.
most beautiful week. I've had the most beautiful week. It's overwhelming, but beautiful, I have to say.
Okay,
So I
this is
started,
interesting. Go.
I know, right? So I started a new social media journey, building a community to really be able to share from, from me what I want to put out, all the messages that I want to put out there to the universe. And it's only been a week, and I have already created this community that is absolutely beautiful. And you talk about surrounding yourself with beautiful people with good intentions and kind hearts and filled with joy. It is a small community right now in like the social media world, but wow, it is so powerful and so beautiful. And I have been riding on this high frequency for a week now. And the encouragement and the people that are there to lift me up. So not even just by liking a post, but the comments, the direct messages, like it's just been nonstop and beautiful. There was not and social media can be kind of negative. There's those people out there that are just not really enjoying their lives and they need to share that with people. And there was not one negative thing that I've experienced. And I have been able to now recognize. So this was already what happened last week was already beyond what I could have imagined. And that's what I have also been working on is to allow myself to 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 feel, I guess is the good word, that there is so much more than I could imagine. I am like very limited in my imagination and my potential. And just last week just shows like how far beyond that could go. I had a goal and it like blew up. So
Okay, so
I am
before you
so
continue,
excited.
you need to share what is this channel or social media platform so that other people can join. What is it?
Right.
I want to join.
So right now it's on Instagram and Facebook. Not so much on Facebook because I'm having some technical difficulties there, but definitely Instagram, and it's shine.with.c. So shine with C, and it's just all about positivity, mindset, confidence, just spreading joy and love. And the community is building, and I hope that you guys get to be a part of it because it's going to be beautiful. We're going to be transitioning it to a YouTube channel because I have a few videos that I put out there. So thank you to you for helping me overcome some of those fears and being able to be my truly authentic self and share all of this love and positivity. Like it's just been beautiful. It's
I
been
love
beautiful.
it. I love it. I love that you have a channel to share your light. I honor you for taking the chance and for having the courage to do this and for holding the energy behind it because essentially that is the secret sauce. Your intention, the energy that's held behind it, it's not about the amount of people that are following. It's not
Oh,
it's about what it is serving and it is life-giving, and I definitely am going to follow you because I know that we feed off of each other's energy. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier about supporting one another and lifting each other up, and that just creates this like snowball, this ripple effect of positive goodness and inspired action. So yes, yes, and yes. And I'm so proud of you and happy for you. And yeah, you go, girl. And the other thing that
has
stood
been
out,
a wild ride so far.
well, okay. let's dive into that a little bit. A wild ride so that other people can
Oh,
understand what that means. Like what made it wild to get to that place, because other people will likely feel that same energy.
right. So I mean, I was held at a high frequency all week, but there were moments where though that sense of being overwhelmed, because when I say it blew up, I mean it blew up. Like, and I could not have imagined the outpouring of support and encouragement. I wasn't prepared for it. Like I and there's no way to prepare for it, but I wasn't prepared for it. And I it really kind of took over in a way that probably wasn't healthy for me, but I was just so excited that all of these people, there's this whole world of people out there that now I can connect to that are going to help me share my message. And I'm aligned with all of these beautiful souls out there. Um, it was, when I say wild, it was overwhelming at times, like
Okay.
overwhelming, but overwhelmingly beautiful, but also I wanted to connect with each person, but it was, I mean, it's not really that, it's not possible to do it at that level that I want to, but my message got out and people like, it was just, it was incredible. And if anybody else wants to take this path, honestly, there are so many people out there that are wanting to really lift up this energy in this world. And you can go out there and you can find a whole community of people. It's honestly the most beautiful thing I've experienced in a very, very long time. And that's why I say wild, because it was not anything that I had expected. I had not put myself out there in such a way or been part of such a large community that's so encouraging. It really humbled me, actually. Like, it humbled me and brought a whole new hope, I guess, for just people that we're on the right path.
Okay, there are a couple of things in there that I love. Thank you so much for bringing us into that space. Overwhelm. I think it's important to look at overwhelm because that's what you're referring to as the wild part,
Mm,
because being in these high vibrational states of love and encouragement, it can feel overwhelming. Why? Because it's unfamiliar, because we have been living in such a low vibration. And we have been living in a world that is predominantly in separation and survival, and the energy is like, look at me, pick me, and that has an energy behind it. But you have shifted that, you've crossed over, you've done the work, and it's about feeding life into others, and people can feel that on a subconscious energetic level, and this is why they gravitate towards it. So you see how it just builds, and yes, it can be overwhelming, but to remind our bodies that this is good. This can be our new normal. Allow your body some time to alchemize and adjust to these high frequencies, because you can feel a little frazzled. It can feel, sometimes you can get those ascension symptoms, headaches. Your ears sometimes feel like they're going to pop and you're wondering why. Well, think about it. When you're on an airplane, your ears start to feel like they're going to pop because you're going at a higher altitude. It's really no different. Those are the ascension symptoms. So I know you have something to say, so I'm going to hand it over. I can feel it.
yeah, no, you're absolutely right, though. And allowing yourself to absorb it all, because for some reason there was a part of me that was saying, whoa, this is too much, because I've
Mm.
never allowed myself to just absorb it. So
Okay, and
now,
what
like in the
message are
last,
you putting out there to the universe when you're saying, "Whoa, this is too much"?
I'm not worthy of it.
Yeah, or like, "No, no, no," but really, like, this is just because it's new. So it's important in those
It is.
moments, like, "Okay, I'm doing this because this is new, but what if I don't do this because this actually feels really good?"
Right? And that's what I've learned over the last few days, like, because, it's been, yeah, it's about 9 days, 8 days, 9 days. So the last couple of days, I did kind of, like, not take a step back, but um, I I did less. So because I was just very involved in it. So I think that was creating not a good feeling for me. So I'm like, let's just that's not necessary. Like we don't I don't have to take that. So just allow all of that to be absorbed now. Like just allow all of those great emotions, allow all of those, great feedback and encouragement, like just absorb it all now. So that's what I've been working on for the last few days is to do less and allow myself to absorb more because I think that that was causing a little bit of friction as well. But the unknown and the potential of what is actually out there is, oh, I just feel so grateful. I am so grateful for this community, and I'm just so excited to see where it goes.
Amazing. And I think that is the gateway to more is gratitude. When you show gratitude, it does invite in more. And it's interesting because the last time we spoke, we did tap into emotions, but of a lower vibration. And the same is true for the emotions that come with these higher vibrations. It sometimes can feel overwhelming when I tap into pure love at a source core level. Sometimes I also get overwhelmed, but to honor that, and can we start to have more tears of joy, tears of love, and allow the energy to move instead of resisting, even if it comes through tears or whatever, to allow it to move through us and to honor that and to just be in that present moment and in gratitude. Again, you said it, gratitude, appreciation for this new way of being that can become our new normal. And yeah, I'd like to also, is there anything else that you'd like to add to that? Because I'd like, if not, I'd like to tap into authenticity because that came through
That's it.
earlier and I don't
It
want to
did.
forget. Um, so do you have anything that you would like to touch on before we dive into authenticity?
Oh, I just
Okay,
want
so
to.
let's dig in because that was something that really kept coming through as well. What it is to be an expression of source, God, oneness, but also staying in your essence and your authenticity. And that's finding what's in alignment with you, what speaks to your heart, and staying true to that while still expressing these messages of hope and inspired action and creativity and whatever lights you up inside, but doing it in your own way. And how this spills into new earth, some people call it new earth, but it's really holding a higher vibration outside of fear and separation. And how do we get there in the fastest way is also, in my opinion, through the next generation and how we, as conscious adults who recognize that we are powerful beings and that we are emitting energy and transmissions that is signaling messages to the universe and creating our reality. But more importantly, as role models. We are modeling what it is to be human and whatever that means to you. But parenting for me has shifted so much in that the old paradigm, it was about teaching, controlling, dictatorship. Unfortunately, it felt very much like you were like molding these children into something that you see is best for them, whether the intentions could be good and pure. That's all that we've ever known. And how it's shifted into more of a conscious parenting. And it's interesting when you really look at it because it's no longer teaching and telling children what to do, but you truly need to do the work yourself and model that behavior. So now how does this step into authenticity? In order This is something this will be maybe challenging for a lot of people to digest, but Are you wearing a mask? Meaning, are you going out in society and you behave a certain way with strangers? And then now be honest with yourself. Are you operating in the same authentic way at home with the people who love you and forgive you? And I'm going to put emphasis on the people who forgive you, because we tend to take it out, our frustrations, project on people that we know are going to forgive us, but that is not okay anymore. And that is the new earth. And so if you're teaching your children, whether consciously or not, that you operate one way in society and one way at home, that's not being authentic. That is wearing a mask. And my children, my girls have shown me, well, mom, like you did, they'll call me on it. And you know what? That is a humbling experience. I'm like, dude, she's right. And having to, like, okay, if I'm going to be the best parent I can be, I need to be accountable for this. And yes, you are right. I could have done this better. How could I have done this better? And then work through that process out loud so that she can see how I am working through it and how I can shift it into a higher vibration. And that is standing in your authentic energy. If you can master being your best self in all moments of life at home and behind closed doors, when nobody is watching or perceivably judging you, then that is really when you step into mastery, and when you step into your authentic energy, and when you are truly being the best role models you can be for that next generation so that they can do the same. That's a lot.
Absolutely. I think it's super, super important what you said about working through it when one of your daughters maybe calls you out on something, because
Mhm.
mine does as well. But sometimes she doesn't. But I'm very aware that how I'm reacting to something or delivering something to her might not be in the way that I I don't like to use the word should, because there's no should, but in the most beautiful way. Like if I'm not doing that, I can see by sometimes in her behaviors or the way that she reacts to something that I'm saying in the way that I'm saying it, that also checks me. And then I acknowledge it with her, and I say, I'm really sorry. That's not the way that I wanted this conversation to go. So let's like backtrack and see how we can change it so that we can, have a better outcome from this situation, so that she can see that first, like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay that if you've done something that you don't feel good about, it's okay to go back and acknowledge it with that person. I don't think a lot of people are experts at that, in acknowledging where they maybe have had not done something kind or from a place of love or good intentions. But acknowledging that with that person, apologizing, that is filled with love, that is filled with good intentions, and just learning from that and knowing that, yes, this happened, but it's just an experience. And what did you learn from that experience? And that's kind of how I like um, to go through this life with my daughter for now.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm tracing the energy as you're speaking, and it's interesting to how that ties into authenticity, because you'll notice a subtle shift in the energy when there is peace, conclusion, when you come to the root cause of the situation, there is an energetic release, because when you're trying to fix something, or you're trying to maintain a position, or that energy of trying, or trying to get out of something, it just feels like it's not complete. And when you find that root cause, like, oh, this is where this is coming from. And then the person can, it's almost like a release happens. And it's like, yes. That is what I'm trying to share. That is at the heart of it. And if we can always trace whatever situation right to the heart, the root cause of what is trying to be seen, heard, and communicated, then it can shift into a higher vibration. But that does require sometimes some explorative work, and then just looking for that subtle release that everyone can just let go and move on into the next. I'm speaking in a little
Absolutely.
bit of
Uh,
abstract, but I can't help it.
and- but it's also it's also for me really important to be that person that's consistently growing and being consistent in my message to her. Um, because she's still trying to figure out who she is as an individual. They're young. I mean, I, I can't even imagine the turmoil like that goes through. Like I've been there, but that was a very long time ago, and I'm sure it's so very different now, just with how, um, society, social media. There's just like so much that they're working through, and to try to find out who they are as an individual. I think it's really important that because I know who I am, I know the path that I'm on, and I want her to know that at some point that she's going to find herself and she then can really step into her truly authentic self and be her unique individual person, and people will still love her and appreciate her and be grateful that they're in her life, like
Yeah.
she
And
did.
looking at the polarity of authenticity and that, like, staying true to that and consistent also involves change and evolution and transformation. Staying
Absolutely.
right. So if we can have a consistent message of your true self now is always shifting and growing, and there's no shame there, that is part of the journey. And yes, I know who I am at the heart of my being, but I also know that who that is always changing and shifting and open to receive and explore more. Then it takes away this need of perfection or destination, an achievement. It's because it's always in movement, and that gives them space to explore, and that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else that you had on your list that you wanted to cover other than those beautiful things just before we can look into other things? I just wanted to invite that in first. I don't know if you had written down a list or not.
No, 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 because I just feel like we're always aligned. I don't even feel like I did. I've used to have lists, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about the same thing because we're completely aligned. So, no, I'm curious to see where you're going to take this conversation.
Well, interesting. The other thing that I felt inspired to tap into a little bit was magic,
Mm.
because magic for me is energy and intention. And there, over our human history, there have been a lot of stories around this. um Light magic versus in the darker realms, what that is. And for myself, we are all magicians, and that our words are magical spells, and the intention behind those words is where that potion really is, and the intentions we're putting out. So I want to invite in a space for people to start to see ourselves as these creative, magical beings. And again, depending on the energy you're holding, and to start to be honest with yourself, because the really only difference between light magic and magic in lower vibrational practices is oneness, separation. Praying, feeding, another life into another, praying, pray, versus preying on another, living in separation, wanting, unfortunately, when you're in your ego and separation, some people, that's where the judgment comes in, the programming, needing to survive, be seen, be heard. So but they're both part of our reality, and let's just look at it and be honest about it and start to take responsibility for the energy we are emitting into this universe. So does
Beautiful.
this strike
Magic.
anything with you? Yes.
Um, for me, really, I guess like what I've really been working on, which would be part of this magic, would be intuition. Like I've really trying to work on um really elevating my intuition and listening to what is being given to me in different moments, because it's easy to just kind of deflect them and just say no, 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 but to like and allow just allowing all of those feelings and recognizing that there's a message there, like there's a message that I need to hear, and I've been practicing to allow those in, and that's been a practice for the last while. So,
Okay, I love
I'm not
that.
sure if that's
So
where you wanted to go.
well, it doesn't really matter. Actually, I think this is
Okay.
good because that's being the seeker, that's being the student, that's being in a place of observation without holding judgment. So I would say that you recognize that you are a magician. It's actually, I feel like in your space right now, what I'm reading is actually more of a neutrality when I'm tapping into your energy, because you really are just staying in this energy of curiosity. What is the universe showing me? How can I tap in and co create and tap into my highest self, which is your intuition? How do we get there? Well, from what I've experienced on my ascension journey, the higher of a vibration you can hold, the easier it is for your high self to be able to communicate with the messages become clearer, and you can start to see the connectivity of everything that is happening around. So it always comes back to recognizing what frequency are you holding in this now moment, staying present. How can I raise my vibration through focus? What are you focusing on becomes your reality. So I'm going to focus on my energy, raising that vibration, and then staying in this place of neutrality, so outside of programming, and being able to witness life that is happening around me. And then you can set an intention. Okay, I want to receive more messages from my high self. I want to play more and co-create with my high self. Talk to me, communicate with me, show me. And that is an intention, that is an invitation into your highest self. And that is a fun place to start to live in. And that is a carrot for people to hold on to as they take this path, because let's be honest, doing the work, taking the ascension journey isn't all shadowy and dark. It's curious and fun and explorative as well. So thank you for bringing that through.
And honestly, all you have to do to play in that space is to ask for it. And it's a lesson that I still have not learned, but I did. I have recently, I'm like, please show me, I just want to know all of the beautiful things. Am I on the right path? I want to see where I'm going. And I asked for it, but then I asked for it. And then now, like this past week, I have received the most beautiful messages and signs that I am definitely on the right journey. I'm on the right path. I'm going in the right direction. Honestly, sometimes I wish they were not those 4 a.m. messages, but it's fine. If we could talk about the 4 a.m. thing, because honestly, I love all of you, but 4 a.m. pour in so
It's
early.
true. It's always in those moments. I would agree with that. Um, you said one thing that I'd love to alchemize into a higher vibration because you said it's a lesson I still have not learned. And I would beg to differ that you have learned that lesson. It's just hasn't become so habitual that it's instantaneous. You're still needing to invite that in, but maybe you can now say, okay, I have learned that lesson and put the energy out there that I don't need to ask for it anymore. Let's play
Yes.
in that. Like, I don't need to ask anymore because I put it out there in no space and time. Universe, keep showing me, keep playing with me. If I am not seeing you, give me a little nudge, a little reminder, but I don't need to ask anymore to have this result because I've already set that intention that this be infinite, that this just be my new way of living. And I'm inviting that energy in. So that's alchemizing it into an even higher vibration because it's moving into flow.
I love that. And I love that we have these conversations because every time I just feel like the next level for me is just so it's right there. I mean, it is right there. I just have to welcome it in. But
Yes.
you help me see that it's right there. So thank you.
It is right there. And again, this is thank you for coming here and sharing this with me because I've gone down this path as well and I step back. But again, that the energy, the intention you put, let's not limit it anymore. Let's make it limitless.
Oh my goodness. So you keep saying limit and it's speaking to me like directly to my heart because that is what that's what I struggle with. I really struggle that with the concept of limitless. It is a real struggle for me.
Oof.
And honestly, that is right now it's not about judgment. I, I'm not worried about what other people saying, like that ego, whatever. Like that's not what I struggle with. I am not judgmental. I don't live my life
You
through
move
ego.
through
I
that.
am way through that. But now understanding, understanding that it is limitless. I can't like I there like I can't conceive of that yet.
And I love that you can't conceive because being not able to conceive is limitless in itself. Think about that.
Right.
Like that's an aha moment right there.
But I'm imposing limits on myself
No.
sometimes, right? Like so, just and I say like, make small goals and achieve them because I'm a confidence builder, like by nature, right? So like do this and do that. But I feel I already limited myself. So for example, I'm like, I want to get to 50 followers by the end of the week. Within 1 week, I more than doubled it. And I was like, a lot of people on social media that like who cares but to me that's huge and it is every person that's on there right now is a truly awesome amazing human being so it's I have to stop putting limits on myself to allow the limitless to shine through.
Well, you've already stopped. It's done. And by saying
It has.
I can't even conceive is inviting in, ironically, an energy of limitlessness. Because as soon as you try and conceive and put an outcome on it, you're limiting it.
Exactly. Yep.
So, like,
Well,
we're going
when
to
I'm
boycott the outcome. Let's let go of outcomes, let's let go of expectations and let the universe continue to inspire us, to shock and awe us in the most beautiful, glorious ways
beautiful,
and
beautiful.
surprise us. That's like that's one thing that I
And
want
that's what
more
I
of.
Right? And that's what I really
Surprise.
recognized, like, this past week when I haven't put limits on myself and the things that have shone through for me have just been, "Whoa." You know? And then now I just have and that energy and that vibration that I felt when I didn't have the limit and I saw things and I was so grateful for what what was happening. It I didn't have those limits, so I was allowing myself to feel that excitement about what is to come. And I'm just, but it be grateful for right now what is happening. That for me was a beautiful feel is a beautiful feeling.
Well, so that's a beautiful exercise that we can share with people. So to perhaps have listen to your heart if you have a goal or something that's speaking to you, working with somebody if you need to remove all the doubt of anything that's holding you back from taking that first step. You have nothing to lose, only to gain, and to hold that energy in the realms of all that is possible, the potential of this, and just letting it be what it's going to be and not holding any attachment to outcome. And once it's created, just seeing how it builds. It's kind of like the YouTube channel. I created it with like, I think there's only around 70 people following, but that's okay because if it helps one person, that was the goal. And if it snowballs and helps more, then that's amazing. And I'm just going to leave it out there and let it unfold into whatever it's going to be and invite in more people to come and explore what it is to step into your highest self and your highest light and invite in people who want to support one another, much like you, so that we can co create together this new earth reality that is available and accessible to everyone. Yay. I love it. I love it. All right. So before we end this call, the only thing that's really come, we talked about magic, we talked about intention, how that spills in. Just I want to dive back into intuition. Is there anything else that is coming through for you with respect to intuition and your 4 a.m. wake up calls?
No, just I would just recommend just allow it to happen. Just absorb it. Just be aware of the messages that are being shown to you throughout the day. We get caught up in our day to day routines, and sometimes we miss a lot of important things. I realized. So just really paying attention to like be in the here and now and use that intuition to be able to absorb it every all of the goodness that's out there.
Hmm. And being in the here and now, and what I'm hearing you say as well, and from my personal experience, is just moving outside of your head. And what you said earlier about going into observation. So just being present and just witnessing the life that is unfolding, that is a miracle all around you. And if you can focus on that leaf, on that smile, on that person that may look lost and send a magical prayer for them to find whatever it is that their heart is leading them towards. That is living in the vibration of love and co creation and magic in the highest frequencies outside of ego and programming because you're no longer here but you're just in a field of oneness because you're sitting in this place of observation and just really listening to all the messages that are coming through because that is what is guiding you into your next right step. And when you are holding space in that vibration, guess what? Fear does not exist there. Separation does not exist there. We hold compassion for others and the journey that they're on and hold space for them to shift into a higher vibration. Imagine if everyone was in that energy. And this is why it's so important to holding and practicing discernment and really choosing the people that you allow in your life now because these higher vibration is stronger, it's higher, so you don't need as many people, if you will, but when it comes together it's tiny and mighty, and then the law of resonance comes in and it draws more people into that higher vibration. Why? It's alluring, it's seductive, it's beautiful, it's enticing. You want some of that because it feels good. And guess what? It comes from within and is no longer looking for something outside of you. It's available and attainable to everyone. So it brings us back to, why are we here? To evolve and grow into our highest light.
Thank
Amen.
you
I
for
hope
sharing your
it's
beautiful
done.
light with me.
Thank you for sharing yours with me and for co-creating, and yeah, and for coffee time with high vibrational amazing people.
Exactly.
All right. Well, with that, I think this is a good place to end our chat, and until next time. And I'm definitely gonna check you out on Insta. I'm gonna start following you on Instagram, so you're gonna have one more follower, and I'm so happy to be a part of that. And yeah, until next time, thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.